Okay, there are a lot of things and updates that I will be sharing in today's video, especially answering the question that a lot of you who have watched me talk about sport arbitrage before have in mind and have also asked me before, which is, how do I manage to do sport arbitrage for over 4 years without getting banned or restricted? First of all, I'm going to answer that question and a lot more later in this video, but let me quickly say this. It is not that I have never been banned or restricted by bookmakers before. Some bookmakers have banned and restricted me before, but when they do, I will bounce back by finding a way around them or move on from that bookmaker entirely. And not that I will quit doing sport arbitrage, because to me, sport arbitrage is just like printing free money, and you don't expect me to quit when I face some minor challenges. Anyways, in today's video, I'll be covering things like how I managed to go around some of these bookmakers to enable me continue doing sport arbitrage with them, the new updated list of bookmakers I use and recommend for sport arbitrage, if truly sport arbitrage is still profitable and can be done as a full-time job, common mistake I have seen people who do sport arbitrage make that have cost them their money and or their account being restricted, and how you can avoid that. Some new frequently asked questions I've heard people ask lately and answers to them. Some good news regarding where you can get your arbitrage gains from. Things I have done with money made from sport arbitrage for those of you looking for some sort of motivation, and a lot more. Check the timestamp in the description of the video so that you can skip to the part that interests you if you don't want to watch the entire video. All of that being said, in today's video, I will be using 1 million naira as my capital to do sport arbitrage for at least 7 days. I will use that to answer as many questions as I can. However, if at the end of the video you still have questions that you feel I did not answer in the video, feel free to send me a message on Telegram or on Instagram using the handles currently showing on the screen. You can also join my Telegram channel using the same handle currently showing on the screen. Now let's get into the video fully. These are the list of bookmakers I will be using in this video, and this is the full list of bookmakers I currently recommend for sport arbitrage. But if you want to use Gologin or an alternative anti-detail browser, then you can add 1xBet and Marathon Bet, and most importantly, do parlay abbing. Not just log into your account through Gologin alone and believe that is all. Anyways, in today's video, I won't be using Gologin or any anti-detail browser at all. I'll probably make a full dedicated explanatory video for that one another day. And the reason is because a lot of you are having issue understanding the whole Gologin concept, why it is best for you, how to use it and all of that. So I'll probably make a full dedicated video for that later. Today, I will just be focusing on another approach entirely. So, moving on. Now, why these are the bookmakers I use in this video, and these being the ones I recommend, does not mean this bookmaker will not give you issue or restriction. But when they do, 1, you will at least be able to get your money out. 2, it might take a while before they restrict you. 3, some of them have a way around them if you get restricted. 4, most importantly, some of them have a way around them to prevent restriction, all of which you will get to see me do later in this video. Also, in this video, I will be using Surebt as my arbitrage service provider to get my arbitrage games. For over 4 years, I'll be using Breaking Bet to get my arbitrage games, and one of the questions I often get from you guys is, why don't you use Surebt? They have a lot of bookmakers. Well, I've given over 5 reasons as to why I use Breaking Bet over every other arbitrage service provider out there. But since today's video is all about answering your question, today's video we're going to be using Surebt. And talking about using Surebt, you know me, whenever I'm to use any website in my video or talk about any website in my video that you need to subscribe to before you can use their service, you know I will always reach out to them and see if there's any way that they can give some percentage of their subscription fee or any form of discount at all. So I did the same thing for Surebt. I reached out to them and they agreed to do something similar. So if you are watching this video and you wish to give Surebt a shot, use the link in the description or the link in the pinned comment to register and subscribe, and you will get additional 7 days for free if you subscribe for 7 days package. That is, if you pay for their 7 days plan, you will get additional 7 days for free, making it 14 days. Of course, provided you use the link in the description of the video or the link in the pinned comment to register and subscribe. And boss, before you start asking me questions, the offer is only available for the 7 days package or the 7 days plan. Also, the offer is not forever. Once the limit is reached, it expires. So for those of you who might wish to give it a shot, please do so while the offer is still up and running. Then lastly, for those of you who might not still be able to afford the subscription fee, be it for Surebt or for Breaking Bet, send me a message on Telegram or on Instagram using the handle showing on the screen, and we'll see what we can do about it. Moving on. Now, to those who may wish to use Surebt, this is the setting I will be using in respect to these bookmakers, and upon applying them, these are the games available at the moment. So I go ahead and play them, starting with this one. Now remember, I am using 1 million naira as my capital, but I am not staking the entire 1 million naira on a single game. Usually I stake between 49,000 to 59,000, but in this video I will be staking 50,000 to 70,000 per game. Anyone you prefer going with is okay, the smaller the better, but then this means that for me to exhaust my 1 million naira capital per day, I need to play about 14 to 18 games per day. Stay with me, let me quickly play this game just for this video's sake. I go to each of those bookmakers and confirm that the odds are still the same. After which, I type the amount I want to use on this calculator here. I write variation of amounts in thousands between 50k and 70k until I get a well-rounded amount like this. And this is the profit I'm going to make. So I go ahead and play them. By the way, done already, and these are the tickets. Now, if you are in my Telegram channel, you probably know by now that I use 2 million naira for my sport arbitrage, and I said that I'll probably use that same 2 million naira in this video. But the reason I'm using 1 million naira instead of the 2 million naira is because I have at least 2 accounts with each of these bookmakers with 2 different details, meaning using my friend's detail, and then I log into each of the 2 from different IP address. If I were to use my 2 million naira capital, as I play this game now, I will quickly go and play this same game on my second OneWin account and Bet Naija. Mind you, the IP address, the account information or detail, and the amount stake on the second account are all going to be different from the first one, which is how I managed to exhaust my capital. Otherwise, I'll have to play a whole new 30 to 40 different games per day before I can exhaust my capital. But with this duplicate approach, I need 14 to 18 games per day and do it times 2 and I'm good to go. Which also means that any money I made today, you multiply it by 2 and you get the profit idea for the day. Anyways, moving on. Now, if you are watching this video, I want to assume that you at least know how to play arbitrage games. But if you don't, please, you can try watching this my video or message me personally on Instagram or Telegram using the handles showing on the screen. Alright, with the assumption that you already know how to play arbitrage games, I will just show you the ticket for today, which is day 1, and then point out a few things in the process. This is game 1, the one that you all watched me play earlier on. This is game 2. This is game 3, game 4, game 5, game 6, game 7, game 8, game 9, game 10, game 11, game 12, game 13, game 14, game 15, game 16, game 17, game 18, game 19, game 20, and game 21. So at the end of day 1, I played a total of 21 games. If you multiply that by 2, that gives me 42 games per day based on using 2 million naira and 2 accounts. But based on my 1 account and using 1 million naira, I played a total of 21 games. Okay, there are 2 things I need to point out as far as day 1 and answering some of your questions are concerned. 1. If you had observed some of the tickets or games I show you, you would have noticed that some of them were repeated. It was not a mistake. I intentionally repeated those games on the same account, and the reason is because most time when I make arbitrage videos like this that involve me sharing the ticket I played in that video, when bookmaker agent watch it, they will report down my account. They will use the ticket ID and the amount to track my account and get it restricted. So every single time I make arbing videos like this that involve me showing my tickets, it is almost an automatic restriction, which is one of the reasons why I am thinking of putting a stop to making more arbing videos unless I see account that I'm willing to sacrifice like the ones in this video. Which is also one of the 3 reasons why you see that the bookmakers I use in this video are lesser than the ones I recommended for arbing here. Basically, I couldn't see account I could use to sacrifice for this video on these other ones here. The second thing to point out from day one is, if you have been observing, you would have noticed that most of the games that were available and that I played were games with just small percentage profit, like 1%, 1 point something percent, 2%, 3%, 4%, basically small percentage. I am not saying you should only play game of that small percentage range, especially those of you who are using smaller capital, maybe like 10,000 and the likes. I mean, 1% of 10,000 naira, I think that's just 100 naira. But for those of you who are using higher capital, I mean, what's your excuse for going for big percentage? But anyway, the point is, I don't recommend you go for games with higher percentage. I've warned you guys against game with big percentage several times. Something like 20%, 40%, 70% and so on are automatic tickets to your account getting restricted. It may not be immediately, but it will surely happen. And not only that, it may also cause you to lose part of your money or sometimes all your money, because some bookmakers are fond of avoiding such high percentage games when you play them. Let me quickly show you something. Look at this game between One Win and Sporty. The profit is 142%. I am supposed to stay away from this, but because of this video's sake, I'll play it and show you something real quick. I have played the game and I played it around 5:34 a.m. A couple of hours after playing the game, One Win cancelled the ticket and refunded me my money. Plus, the game is no longer available to bet on. Now, if you come to Sporty, you can see that the cash out option is no longer available. They did not cancel the game, let alone refund me my money, and the game is no longer available to bet on. Now, I ask, if you find yourself in such scenario, what will you do? Perhaps if you are a Christian like me or you believe in God, then you probably start praying and hoping that let the one at Sporty win, which often case, because your sin is too small, the one at Sporty is not going to win. And if that happens, then that means you've lost part of your money already, which is what I meant by sometimes you lose part of your money, because you just be left with the money that One Win refunded you with. The one stake on Sporty will be gone. So this is something you can easily just avoid by just not playing games of that higher percentage. Now, sometimes when you face issues like this, not necessarily as a result of playing big percentage games, which is often the case by the way, but in general, when you face issues like this, what you can do is to wait until the match is live so that you can cash out if available, or so that you can play the opposite option if available. And if the live game or the option is not available during the live game, then I guess you start praying again. But isn't it better you just avoid such games to save yourself the stress, or you just like headache? I don't know, but moving on. Oh, by the way, to those of you who like listening to a story to the end, where the game won a Sporty bet, giving me additional 130,000 naira profit for that day. So, yay, I guess. But this is the thing. The account got restricted immediately, which is something I probably would have avoided by just staying away from such games. But anyways, happy ending, I guess. Any game you see me playing later in this video that involves Sporty is on another new account entirely. I can't believe I'm wasting 2 Sporty accounts on this video. Anyways, at the end of day 1, I played a total of 21 games, bringing the profit to 192,247 naira. But if you remove the high percentage game we played, since I don't normally play that nor advise anyone to do, that brings the total game played on day 1 to 19 game. 19 because I played the high percentage game twice just to wrap up the stake to approximately 100k. Anyways, the normal Arbin game played was 19 game, giving me a total profit of 25,357 naira, which is like playing an average of 2.5% game. So if you are using 2 million naira and you are using the duplicating approach, multiply this profit by 2 and you get a rough idea of your daily whatever profit. But I need to point this out. It is not all the time that you will be able to obtain this type of profit. There are some times that you are going to get something way lesser than this, and there are some times you are going to get something way higher than this. So don't use this as a baseline. That's what I'm trying to say. Also, it is not all the time that you will be able to successfully duplicate each game or each bet if you are doing the duplicating approach. There are some times whereby before you can go and play the duplicate, the odd probably would have changed. So let's say out of 20 games, you may only be able to duplicate, let's say 10 to 15 games out of 20. You can choose to still not duplicate and still make a reasonable profit per day. That is majorly for people who wish to use a huge capital. Now, for those of you who wish to use huge capital like 500k upward, or those who are entirely new to sport arbitrage and wish to truly take this sport arbitrage really serious, I have a little information for you guys. I am considering bringing my one-on-one sport arbitrage mentorship program online here. It is not necessarily a program per se, but this is the thing. I have done one-on-one mentorship for my close friends around me, and I've also done for some of the core members around me here too. And I'm considering bringing it here online for those of you who might wish to use such service. Basically, it's going to be for people that have like 500k upward to use for sport arbitrage, and those who are entirely new to sport arbitrage but wish to take sport arbitrage serious. So if you fall within that two categories, then message me on Telegram or Instagram. I will discuss further. But for those of you who have been doing the sport arbitrage and don't need any of such one-on-one mentorship or whatever, please, if you have any question as far as sport arbitrage is concerned, send it to me as well on Telegram or on Instagram, and I will do justice to your question. Nothing changed entirely, but the whole one-on-one whatever is for people who really want to take sport arbitrage serious and have like 500k upward or are entirely new to sport arbitrage. Those are the type of people it's majorly for. If you are doing your sport arbitrage before, or you know your way around already, there's no point for such. Send me your questions on Telegram or Instagram. I'll do justice to your question as usual. Now, moving on. To those of you who may wish to use smaller capital like 10k, 50k, 100k, and so on, well, if you want to use something like 50k, you can stake 5k to 10k per game. For those of you using 100k, you can stake 10k per game. To those of you using 200k, you can stake about 10k to 20k per game, and so on, depending on how less busy you are. It is not compulsory nor necessary you do the multiple spray abbing like I'm advising you guys to do, but to save me unnecessary explanation and also to not make this video unnecessarily too long, if you can do it, please do it. For those who have time, the benefit of doing that outweigh any other approach. But if you don't have time and your money is not so huge per se, then you don't have to necessarily break your money into so many chunks. Now, to those of you interested in seeing my tickets for day 2 down to day 7 and answers to more questions, I will start by showing the tickets and game played on day 2 while I address more things that I want to address. Day 2, first game was between One Win and M Sport. I go ahead and confirm the odd on both bookmakers, type the amount I want to use here, and go ahead and stake the suggested amount accordingly. Game 2, Game 3, Game 4. While that is showing on the screen, to those interested in the tickets, you can pay attention to the screen, and those not interested, you can just listen. And if you are interested in the 2, then well, I don't know how you are going to do that. Now, while that is going on the screen, on the question of how I managed to play Arbi for over 4 years without restriction or banning, well, I have pointed out in the beginning of this video that it is not that I have never been restricted or banned. I just bounce back by finding a way around them or move on from that bookmakers entirely. Normally, I don't use this many bookmakers because obviously the more bookmakers, the more your problem. But when people message me saying that why don't you use Surebt, it has plenty bookmakers and blah blah blah, well, since this video is all about answering your questions, here I am using Surebt, and based on that, these are the bookmakers I advise you use if you want to use Surebt. Now, why am I saying this? I am saying this because when I start talking about each bookmaker's alternative or things you could do to prevent restriction or to be able to use a particular bookmaker for long, I might not be able to talk about some of these bookmakers here because I have not been using them prior to this video. Those who suggested using Surebt also suggested some of these bookmakers and said that they are okay, thus my including them here. Now, talking about things that I do that allow me to do sport arbitrage without much trouble. 1, I do parlay abbing through Gologin. Emphasis on the parlay abbing through Gologin. Now, this is not only a very complicated and confusing topic for many, but I have also seen people wrongly use the method a lot. And for that reason, like I said earlier on, I will make a whole new video purely dedicated for that. And all the information shared in this video, with the exception of the duplicating bet part, are based on the assumption of not using Gologin. Number 2, negative arbing. I have talked about this a lot, but I think I need to quickly correct something. You don't have to do negative arbing with every single bookmaker. You can do that with bookmakers like Sporty and Sport, and basically bookmakers that you can't get their local betting shop. With these bookmakers, you can do just parlay and negative arbing every now and then, and you will be good to go. Meaning, not necessarily all the games involving them, unlike you will have to do if you are to use 1xBet and 8clone and of course Marathon Bet. I have already discussed what parlay arbing and negative arbing are in my other sport arbitrage video, and it won't make sense including them in today's video again since the explanation is lengthy. Alternatively, instead of including them in videos like this, I'll probably make a dedicated video purely to explain negative and parlay arbing with about 2 to 3 examples each. Now, number 3, regarding things I do that allow me to do sport arbitrage for a very long time. I've talked about this about 3 years ago, and I actually stopped talking about it for a couple of reasons, but anyways, here we are. For those of you who stay in places where these bookmakers betting shop are close to you, just go to those bookmakers and place your bet at their shop. There in their betting shop, not only can you stake as much as you want, but also your bet won't be rejected, your bet won't be cancelled. You get the point. Basically, what I do is that anytime I have games that involve BetNaija, Betano, and BetKing, I go ahead and play them at the betting shop. When I was staying in Ibadan, Betano, BetKing, BetNaija, NairaBet, and BetWinners Golden Bet, these 5 shops were close to me in the place that I was staying. So the number of shops I have there were much more compared to where I'm currently serving. Here, I only have Betano, BetNaija, and BetKing around my side here. But the point is, anytime I have game that involve any of these bookmakers that I know or have their shop around me, I play them at the shop. You don't necessarily have to be going to the betting shop every single time you want to play the game, or I don't do that. If you have the time to be doing that, fine. But what I do is that I have the agents contact, those that are working there, I have their contact. All I do is that I'll book the game, send it to them on WhatsApp, and the amount that they should stake on it and the actual odd. So if the odd reduces from the odd that I send them, they will not play it. But if the odd increases or is still the same thing, they go ahead and play it. And then they inform me. Once they inform me, I quickly execute the second part. Now, this is it. You don't necessarily have to, in case you want to do this, you don't necessarily have to start explaining sport arbitrage to them or explaining what you are doing or why you are sending them the money for them to bet for you, blah blah blah. You don't have to. If they ask you that why can't you play them yourself or why can't you create an account, look for any reason that you can give them. If you want to lie, by all means, go ahead. Me, I just tell them that I prefer this one that you are doing for me. That's it. But then at the end of the week, depending on your agreement, at the end of the week or at the end of the month, try to settle. They not necessarily settle, but like find them something, because you know normally if you win, when you are losing, they won't say anything. But the moment you win, they'll be like, boss, find me something, now that kind of thing. But you just tell them that, okay, yeah, I will find you something eventually. But let's say at the end of the week or to the end of the month, just you get the point already. Here are some of the tickets. From BetNaija, BetKing, and the like. These are some of the tickets here. All you need to do is that you place the bets. Once you send them the game, they'll place it for you. Later in the day, you go ahead and collect the ticket. But make sure they send you a picture that they have booked it, so that they will not end up playing it, and then when it wins, they will then say you that they forgot to play it, and they will keep the winning and whatever. Once they place the bet, they will take picture, send you the picture, so that you see that okay, they have played. And then later in the day or the following day, you go ahead and collect your ticket and your money, and you are good to go. At the end of the week or at the end of the month, depending on your agreement, you find them something, they're happy, you are happy, everybody's happy. Like I said earlier on, I last talked about this about 3 years ago. I intentionally stopped talking about it for obvious reasons, but there you go. But that being said, if you have more questions regarding this one, you can always message me. But at least I bet you get the clear picture or the idea already. But if you have a follow-up question, you know where to reach out to me, my Telegram and Instagram. are well open for your questions. Moving on. Oh, by the way, all the games that I play involving BetNaija and Betano were all played online, not at the physical shop, because if I had played them at the physical shop, that means I will have to be showing you guys the real ticket and the details while I'll be making the videos, and clearly, you know, I can't be doing that for obvious reason already. So anyways, all the betting on BetNaija and Betano that I played and showed in this video were all done online. Those accounts were all accounts I intentionally created for this video, and of course I'm most likely going to lose those accounts at the end of the video anyway, so they are more or less useless. But then my Betano account is still up and running. My normal Betano account is still very much up and running. What I do that allow it to still be up and running is the parlay and negative add-in. I do that parlay and negative add-in with Sporty, Betano, and Sport. Basically, this is the list of the bookmakers that I do negative and parlay add-in with. And the reason is because you know, sometimes when you want to play those games at the shop, you know, I wake up sometime in the middle of the night to play games. Those betting shops will not be open at during that period. So when I'm playing games like that, I have to do them on my betting account. But during the day when the shop would have opened, I have to play them at the shop. But during the midnight I'm playing games, I play those ones online. So I have to try to make sure that my online account are also still not restricted, which is where the whole negative and parlay add-in of a thing still coming again. But anyway, you get the point already. Moving on. Before I address more things, let me quickly wrap up this 7 days record of a thing. For those who follow the tickets, you probably would have done your calculation by now, but for those who did not, here's the summary. On day 1, I played a total of 19 games, excluding that 142% game. Made a total profit of 25,357 naira. On day 2, I played a total of 14 games, made 18,585 naira, plus N-Sport gave me 4,000 naira bonus, bringing it to a total of 22,585 naira. Mind you, I am adding the bonuses because I got them as a result of playing these games, which obviously were arbitrage games. On day 3, I played a total of 15 games, made 18,980 naira plus 3,000 naira ILOT bonus cashback, bringing the total to 21,980 naira. Day 4 and day 5 were Tuesday and Wednesday respectively. We had a project at work that needed all hands at deck, so I couldn't do any app in those 2 days due to the intensity of the work, obviously. But then on Thursday, I continued day 4. Day 4, though I started almost at the end of the day on that Thursday, but I ended up playing a total of 12 games, made 13,497 naira plus 6,240 naira N-Sport bonus, bringing it to 19,737. On day 5, I played a total of 17 games, made 23,353 naira plus 3,599 bonus, bringing the profit to 26,955 naira. On day 6, I played a total of 18 games, made 35,968 naira plus 4,000 naira N-Sport bonus, bringing my profit for day 6 to 39,968 naira. On day 7, I got home from church with a visitor and we went out afterward, leaving me with almost no time to play game for that day. But still, I still was able to play at least 8 games, made 15,480 naira profit. At the end of the 7 days exercise, I made a profit of, if you add the 142% game we played on day 1, that brings the profit to. We are not going to include that since I don't advise you play such game, so let's work with this profit. Now, 2 things as far as this profit is concerned. First, like I said earlier on, the profit is not always like this. There are times you can make way higher than this per week, and there are times whereby you can make way lesser than this per week. That is why I kind of find it annoying when people ask me questions like, how much can they be making per day or per week or per month doing sport arbitrage? Now, this is the thing. Nobody can actually tell you how much you can be making per day or per month or per week or whatever. Nobody can actually tell you that. The reason is because the criteria or the things that are responsible to how much you can be making per day are things that are changing almost every single day. They are not fees. Even the list of bookmaker you are going to be using are not fees. Your amount is not even fees. Those are even things that are up to you, let alone things that are not up to you. The bookmakers you wish to use, with time you may have issue with one or two of them, and you may not be using that many bookmakers that you wish again. And likewise with your fund, maybe you end up using your money for something or part of your money, or your money, as your money is increasing, you are increasing the capital you want to be using. Long story short, there are a lot of factors that are responsible, but these ones I'm just mentioning are the ones that you can control, yet those are still not fees, let alone to availabilities of game, availabilities of leagues. A lot of other things goes into this whole thing. So there's nobody, if anybody is telling you that, hey, if you are doing arbitrage, you are going to be making S percentage per month or S amount per month, trust me, that person is just giving you false hope. But that aside, however, if you want to prove me wrong, right, do arbitrage for at least 4 to 6 months and let me know if you have answer to this same question on how much you can be making per month doing sport arbitrage. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. Lest I forget, I need to point this out. There are a lot of times where these arbitrage service providers will provide you with wrong arbitrage games like this and more. So please make sure you confirm the game, the time, and more to be sure there are same match and same opposite option before you play it. If you are not too sure, just don't play it. The same thing applies to other games or other options that you don't understand. If you are given any particular option that you don't understand, please and please avoid it. It's better you just avoid it and rather send me the screenshot and say, hey, what does this mean? What does this mean? And I will explain it to you. Not that you will go and play it first and then send it to me and ask me if you played the right thing. Leave it, just send me screenshot of it. If you got the game from Breaking Bed, send it to me. If you get it from Surebt, send it to me, and I will explain to you so that in future when you get such game, you know how to play it. Not that you go and play it and then send it to me afterward. No, send it to me before you play it. Moving on. Now, 2, I probably would have started this video with this, but at least it is better late than never. And also, now that I'm saying it, I feel like it is better, it is toward the end of the video than at the beginning. Now, this is the thing. Sport arbitrage is not as simple and stress-free the way it appears when I make video about it, because I have been privileged to talk to as many of you as I can, and I have found out that a lot of you go into sport arbitrage so pumped after watching my videos, only to start it and see that it is not as fun and as simple as you watch me demonstrate. First of all, in my defense, my job is to explain things such that whoever is watching it understands any point I am making. Unfortunately, as a result, made it look simple and stress-free. The point is, it is not as simple and stress-free as they appear to be in my videos. So, yeah. Anyway, there you go. Now, the money for the car I put on the road, the money for my mini fish pond, the money I use in buying my laptop, the money for the agri storage business, and in helping me out in other areas, though did not all came from sport arbitrage, but a good part of the money used for each of those projects came from Arbin. All these projects and more were done over the course of over 4 years of doing Arbin. Though some of the projects were fruitful, others were not. But the point is, there were not things done just by doing sport arbitrage for just a couple of months. So just get rid of your wide imagination and thinking of becoming a billionaire as a result of doing sport arbitrage and grind. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.